All right, we're back.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
People aren't puzzles that have solutions. Even I'd like to think so, but it's not true.
June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew. It wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
It's different. The pink there. Okay.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
To survive, you have to separate yourself from other people. You can't imprint on them. You have to see them as a separate entity other than yourself, a separate person without any relationship to you, even if they have a relationship to you. To realize that their lives are their own. It seems that the narrator here has not learned that, or maybe he has at the point of the narration being written, but certainly not at the time. Almost like a miniature version of the gate. Actually, in fact, it is a gate. I see. But you see how the scale has gone down in some ways. Don't know what it means.
Where did I screw up?
Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck. Fuck, fuck, fuck. 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 Okay. Okay. Alright.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Well, here's a funny thought. Maybe Coda is still making games, but you're not involved in them anymore. Considering that these games were never supposed to be released to anyone. And, in fact, these games weren't supposed to be shared. They were intended to be private, and they were shared with Davey in confidence, and Davey has... Our narrator has compiled all of them into a mass marketable product that millions can play. And isn't that an even worse perversion? Is it not a little ironic? Look how it's like sectioned off like it's a piece of art in a museum. The arguments about whether or not a game should be playable all lead up to this moment because Davey could have never got past to this point without breaking the game. That was not intended to be finished. But Coda knew that Davey would feel the desire to finish the game, regardless of whether it should be finished or not. He knew that Davey had no respect for his vision. So here this is. You wanted an end to your game. You got it. Also, colorful blocks. There they are.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Remember what I asked? Were you showing the games for him or for you? Were you doing it because it made you feel good, or were you doing it actually for your friend? You told yourself you were doing it for your friend, but in reality you were doing it for you. Note how he showed all these friends, got all this positive feedback. Did he ever bring it back to Coda? It hasn't been mentioned. What was that? I don't know. No clue. Moving on.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Sometimes charity can be selfish. Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? I asked when he started talking about that. That was what I asked. Did you do it without permission? This was Coda's outlet. The games were, in and of themselves, the answer to the problems that Coda personally was facing. What? I'm taking off my headset. Taking off my glasses. I hope the game doesn't try to talk to me for a minute. Backing away from the desk. What the fuck? Okay, okay. I don't need to yell. Don't need to yell. Don't need to yell. Do not need to yell. Okay, moving on.
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, There was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing.
Are you gonna
What does
comment
that
on your
mean?
bullshit? This is what my thinking has been throughout. Writing about those negative things is a cathartic process. It can be helpful. Mm. Ouch. In fact, I was a little overeager trying to get Coda to be my friend. But he was very patient with me. Yeah, makes sense now. Makes sense now.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
The irony. The irony. The irony. Don't say anything, Coda says. What does our narrator do? This. All of this. Don't say anything, Coda says. No, says Davy. I won't say anything. I'll compose a ballad. Cha. And as I said,
That's
the switch is
why
not there.
I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me?
Yes.
Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict.
The walls are
There has to
closing.
be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
I wish I had words. It's like a central station or something?
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
There are no hands on the clocks.
Solution. 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 I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Have I been buried? Seems like it, doesn't it? The weight sort of crashing down here.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now?
What now, indeed? Well, we're completing our final ascent, I suppose.
And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
It's a desert. Will this lead us back to the first level again? Well, let us walk through the triumphal arches, I suppose. We'll be alone with our thoughts for a minute. Yeah, I'm really gonna reserve a lot of my thoughts until the end, and my personal, viewport that I've been looking at the game through. I'll reserve that for later. I don't really want to discuss it while the game is speaking for itself, What words do I have that could do the game better justice than it has been doing for itself already? Back in the train station, it appears. Perhaps this is the other end of the ride. It's the power coil from before. Well, this is, in many ways, I thought about it the first time we ran into it as a potential metaphor for suicide. And here it is at the end, again, when our narrator has abandoned us. It doesn't have to be that, I suppose, and I imagine if we go into this, we'll float away, or will we just die? Let's find out, I suppose. There we go. But instead of seeing the level, we see black. No? Wow.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave.
All right, let me turn the game down for a second here. Sorry, I know I have to cut the audio off to do this. I apologize. In fact, I don't think you can hear it at all now. No, you can. Okay, good.
And you're so
Okay.
but I know that you're
Give me 10 seconds to organize my thoughts here.
so turn back. Turn back.
Okay, so we're back here on the menu. When I started this game, I wasn't sure what to expect, and in fact, I'm gonna take my headset off and talk candidly here. Oh, it feels weird to hear my voice so clearly after several hours of recording. When I started this game, I didn't know what to expect. But our narrator mentioned that I suppose you could call Coda another protagonist, mentioned that Coda didn't release his works. And I should have known something was wrong right away. And I mentioned I had a friend in high school. I don't know. He wasn't the closest friend I ever had. Could I tell you why? I don't know. But he was a friend, and in a lot of ways I looked up to him. More than maybe he knew. But he had all of this music. All sorts of projects, and he was incredibly talented. I always respected him as a genius, really. Everything he did, he seemed to be talented at. Gifted would be an appropriate word. And I don't know, a year, maybe two into college, he went to the same college I did for a while. A year or two in, he died. Committed suicide. I don't know all of the sordid details, but I know that in the months preceding it, he had reached out to me several times to play games with me. But I was dealing with my own things, my own problems. I was running through severe depression myself, and facing other humans was impossible for me, and well, it wasn't a game I cared much for anyway, so I turned him down, and 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 it's stuck with me forever. What if I hadn't? I couldn't have known, of course. I couldn't have known. I didn't see it coming. And I wasn't that close to him to learn enough about him to see it coming. But what if I had? What if I had? I don't feel guilty. That's not, that's not the feeling, but I do feel some responsibility. Perhaps I could have done something. So I guess that's the lens I've been looking at the game through in a lot of ways. In some ways, I think we all share the concerns of the narrator, of the idea of existing without that need for external validation. The idea of it is impossible. I mean, folks, I'm uploading videos to the internet. And here's the thing. Do I need and want validation? Of course I do. Everyone does. And anyone who says they don't, I think, is lying. You need it. Some people, there are a few of us, there are some of us who can get it from themselves. And they almost validate themselves, but not many. Most of us just need each other. And I'm left feeling, well, at least one of the emotions the developer probably intended me to feel, which is helpless. Even though I would never have shared that friend's art, his music, the question, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? That still is there. And I don't think the pain from that will ever go away. And it scares me, because he was not one of my closest friends. Statistics say it may happen to someone that's quite close to me. And by God, that's going to be a hard day. I enjoyed the game. I guess any game that can make you feel intense emotions, well, it did something. It did more than, giving you a crosshair to shoot at an alien. Did a very good job of setting up expectations and knocking the expectations down, but in some ways giving you these neat tied off ends, like how they gave you the idea of the gun at the beginning of the game and also put the gun near the end of the game. with a new purpose to destroy the levels you had previously traveled. It's an interesting sort of high quality game design that was also present in the Stanley Parable. Certainly impressive. It's a subversive work for sure, but it addresses very human concepts, and in the same way the Stanley Parable did the same thing. I would like to see these developers do more. And I think it's indicative of how the game has got inside my head that I feel at this moment, I'm being as candid with you as I can, I feel at this moment that I have not said enough to justify my experience. I have not shared enough to make your experience sitting with me through this worthwhile. But then I have to wonder, is that just the game that I just played making me feel that way? Would I have closed off the video 4 minutes ago, 3, 4, 5 minutes ago, if I had not just played this game? And felt the things that I was intended to feel? How much has this game affected me? That is fascinating to me just as a concept, but also interesting to experience emotionally. And I'm glad I went into it blind, because if I had had any major expectation, I think I would have enjoyed it far less. And I think even the way I'm going to handle uploading this series is going to be different. Usually I go a video or two at a time. I just want to dump this onto YouTube and never think about the series again. Never think about recording it again. I'll think about the game. Yeah, I'll think about the game, but this has been an experience, and well, if you're watching this in the future, I'm glad you shared it with me. Peace. Take it easy. Whatever your preferred goodbye is. I'll see you next time.